Section 1. The Dawn of Hope. MLK's Impact on Civil Rights. Martin Luther King Jr. emerged as a beacon of hope at a time when the shadows of segregation cast a long, oppressive pall over the United States. His eloquent advocacy and unwavering commitment to nonviolence illuminated the path toward racial equality, inspiring a movement that transcended the borders of America. King's leadership in the civil rights movement during the 1950s and 60s laid the foundational principles of justice and equality, resonating deeply within a society rife with discrimination. Under King's guidance, landmark events such as the Montgomery Bus Boycott and the March on Washington, where he delivered his iconic "I Have a Dream" speech, not only highlighted the systemic inequalities faced by African Americans, but also galvanized public support for major legislative changes. These included the Civil Rights Act of 1964 and the Voting Rights Act of 1965, pivotal in dismantling racial barriers. King's ability to connect profound personal suffering with the universal quest for dignity and respect made him an enduring symbol of the struggle for civil rights. King's philosophy of peaceful protest created a powerful contrast to the violent confrontations that often characterized the struggle for civil rights. By advocating for nonviolent resistance, King provided a moral high ground that attracted diverse support across racial, economic, and political lines. His speeches, filled with both poetic cadence and raw urgency, continue to educate and inspire those who hear them, serving as a reminder of the sacrifices made for freedom and equality. The impact of Martin Luther King Jr. on civil rights cannot be overstated. His vision and leadership not only reshaped American society but also redefined the role of activism. His dream of equality and justice remains a source of inspiration for generations, proving that determined nonviolent advocacy can indeed lead to profound social change. Section 2. The Day the Dream Was Challenged. Immediate Reactions to the Assassination. On April 4, 1968, the world stood still as news of Martin Luther King Jr.'s assassination spread. The immediate reaction was a complex tapestry of immense sorrow, disbelief, and anger. Across the United States, communities grappled with the brutal reality that the voice which had so powerfully articulated the dream of equality and justice had been silenced. This news was not just a headline, it was a profound, personal loss for millions who saw King as a symbol of hope and a catalyst for change. Cities across the nation erupted in a tumult of grief and rage. The days following King's assassination saw widespread riots in over 100 cities, reflecting the pent-up frustrations and deep-seated fears of communities that had looked to King as their moral and spiritual leader. These riots resulted in significant property damage, numerous injuries, and even deaths, highlighting the volatile mix of despair and unrest that King had worked so hard to calm with his calls for peaceful protest and dialogue. In the midst of this chaos, prominent figures in politics and civil rights, including Robert Kennedy, made impassioned pleas for peace and unity. Kennedy, speaking to a grief-stricken crowd in Indianapolis, famously quoted Aeschylus, reminding the nation that even through our despair, wisdom and understanding can emerge. His speech is credited with helping to prevent riots in Indianapolis, showcasing the potential of compassionate leadership during times of crisis. The assassination also prompted an immediate legislative response. President Lyndon B. Johnson, who had worked closely with King on civil rights legislation, called for a national day of mourning and urged Congress to pass the Fair Housing Act, a legislation aimed at eliminating racial discrimination in housing. This act, signed into law just 7 days after King's death, was a testament to the immediate and tangible impact of his life and work, underscoring the urgency of continuing his fight for justice and equality. Section 3. Echoes of Unrest. The Nationwide Impact. The assassination of Martin Luther King Jr. did not just spark immediate shock and mourning, it ignited a long-lasting flame of activism and heightened awareness across the United States. The riots that erupted were a grim testament to the nation's deep-seated racial tensions, but they also served as a catalyst for a renewed commitment to civil rights. This period is marked by a significant shift in the narrative of civil rights, highlighting the need for more robust and comprehensive reforms to address systemic inequalities. In the wake of King's death, various grassroots movements gained momentum, driven by the younger generation of activists who were influenced by King, but also sought to expand the scope of the movement. Organizations like the Black Panther Party began to gain more visibility and support, advocating for racial justice through more assertive means than King's nonviolent approach. This shift reflected a broader spectrum of strategies within the civil rights movement, emphasizing that the fight for equality had many fronts and voices. Furthermore, the public's reaction to the assassination highlighted the widespread influence King had on individuals and communities. Churches, schools, and public spaces became arenas for reflection and mobilization, where people of all races gathered to honor King's legacy and discuss ways to continue his work. This communal outpouring of support and determination demonstrated the deep resonance of King's message and the widespread desire to see his dream realized. Moreover, the federal government, pressured by the civil unrest and the undeniable moral force behind the civil rights movement, began to implement more aggressive measures to combat racial discrimination. This included increased enforcement of existing civil rights laws and the introduction of new policies aimed at promoting racial equality in education, employment, and public services. The nationwide impact of King's assassination was thus a complex mixture of despair and determination, a bitter reminder of the challenges ahead but also a clear call to action to continue striving towards a more just and equal society. Shadows of doubt conspiracy theories surrounding MLK's death. The mystery that shrouds the assassination of Martin Luther King Jr. has spawned numerous conspiracy theories that continue to intrigue and perplex the public. These theories range from involvement by government agencies to collusion with local criminals, reflecting the deep mistrust between some segments of the American public and the government. The official narrative, which identifies James Earl Ray as King's assassin, has been challenged by various groups, including King's own family, who believe that the truth of his murder has not been fully uncovered. This skepticism was fueled by inconsistencies in the case and the swift capture and guilty plea of Ray, who later recanted his confession. The FBI's surveillance of King prior to his assassination, part of their broader effort to discredit him, also contributed to suspicions of a more extensive conspiracy. These doubts have not only influenced public perceptions of King's assassination, but have also played a significant role in shaping attitudes towards the justice system and government transparency. The impact of these conspiracy theories on public perception cannot be underestimated. They have engendered a culture of skepticism and fostered a sense of unresolved injustice that lingers around King's legacy. For many, the unresolved questions surrounding his death represent a broader narrative of unaddressed racial injustices in America. This has kept King's assassination not only as a topic of historical inquiry, but as a continuing dialogue on racial equity and justice. Furthermore, the persistence of these theories has motivated continued academic and governmental scrutiny into the circumstances surrounding King's death. Numerous investigations and reports have been conducted over the years, each attempting to piece together the events that led to that tragic day in Memphis. While definitive answers may never be fully known, the ongoing interest in uncovering the truth speaks to the profound impact King had on America and the enduring significance of his life and death. The Unbroken Dream, MLK's Enduring Legacy. Martin Luther King Jr.'s legacy is a tapestry of hope, resilience, and unwavering commitment to justice and equality. Despite his assassination, his dream did not perish. Instead, it has been immortalized through ongoing civil rights advancements and the global spread of his ideals. King's philosophy of nonviolent resistance and his profound dedication to civil rights have inspired countless individuals and movements around the world, underscoring his role as a timeless icon of justice. Schools, streets, and public buildings named after King serve as daily reminders of his impact and the values he championed. Annual celebrations of Martin Luther King Jr. Day in the United States, which include educational programs, community service initiatives, and reflections on civil rights, further cement his lasting influence. These commemorations are not just about honoring King's memory. They are also about actively engaging with his vision, encouraging new generations to reflect on social justice and take action against inequality. Moreover, the principles King fought for continue to resonate in contemporary social movements. His teachings are frequently cited in the struggles against systemic racism, economic inequality, and police brutality. Did you subscribe? Subscribe now, so you don't miss what's to come. To see more government secrets and conspirations, visit now at presidential_whispers.